come on in to the pre-show before the free show. We're back.
We have never been more back.
We are back.
It's the most back that anyone, I think, has ever been. Your heroes are back, folks.
Hero seems like a strong word.
Greg Tepper, Ashley Pickle. I don't know, maybe we're somebody's hero.
Well, people need to know more heroes.
Hey, we're trying to sell this thing, Pickle.
Yeah, and I sell it with honesty.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, let's come together with like a united front.
Okay.
Okay, it's fine. Hello, everybody. Welcome into the pre-show before the free show. I'm Greg. That is Ashley. We're getting ready to talk a little bit of football back here on a Thursday. But we were gone. We were out of. We did not have a show Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. You're not dreaming, or you know, maybe it was a dream that we didn't have a show for you. I don't know. It's fine. But we are back. We were on the road.
We were. Well, we were actually in the sky for most of it.
We were in the sky. We were in the sky on a plane and in the sky on a train.
Yeah, sky train.
We were in Las Vegas.
We were.
Fabulous Las Vegas for the National Association of Broadcasters annual show out there to just learn more stuff and to meet people and have fun meetings and look at toys. Pickle was a kid in a candy store.
Yeah, that's my holy grail, is walking around a massive convention floor with nothing but nerdy video equipment. You want to talk about to coin a phrase from Matt Stepp, I was in my bag.
You were, because so we've already talked about Lake Pickle being an elite pickle.
Yeah.
Right? Video equipment pickle.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, this is an honest thing that we discussed. We were like, boy, do we need a drone?
Yeah, correct.
Or do we need one of those rigs where you can attach a camera to a car? It's like, maybe.
Yep.
We could find some stuff to do with it.
There was a funny point because not only did we get to go walk around and see all of the new video equipment and all that stuff, but we also took classes in a streaming summit. And you and Brooke went to a separate one than I did on our first round, and mine was in the weeds nerdy, very, very nerdy, very technical terms and stuff. And I came out of that class so excited.
Let me ask you a question, because as you mentioned, we kind of split up. We were going to this portion where they talked a lot about streaming, and we've got a lot of really fun ideas to come out of it. Was the word codec used?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay.
110%. The amount of codec and transcoding and API and
I'm glad I wasn't in there.
Way in the weeds. And it was just funny because I came out of that class so stinking excited, and I did thing where I just kind of yapped for probably too long of relaying all the information that was going through my brain. And at one point, Brooke, who is an incredibly intelligent person and understands streaming and stuff like that, she looked at me and she was like, "Oh, you got in the weeds."
Yeah.
I was
she was like,
"Oh yeah, sorry. I forget that some people look at me and they're like, are you speaking a foreign language right now?
Are you all right, young lady? Do we need to call an adult?
Yeah. What are we doing here?
Who's your emergency contact?
Yeah, and I just kind of popped off for a second, and then I realized I was like, oh yeah, not everyone speaks dork.
Yeah. Made some new friends, saw some old friends. It was a good time. Of course, we were in Las Vegas, a notoriously quiet city.
Yeah. Nothing really ever going on.
Nothing really ever going on. So Tuesday night, we did do something I thought really fun. The Vegas Golden Knights happened to be in town.
Correct.
They played the Chicago Blackhawks, and we were like, hey, we work for a sports company.
Yeah. The conference was over at that point.
Yeah, exactly. The conference was over. We weren't flying out till the next morning. So we were like, what if we go to the game? So we got to go to the T-Mobile Arena and see it.
Very good arena.
It's right off the Strip. It's in fact, I wouldn't even call it off the Strip. It's on the Strip.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally directly behind the New York hotel casino.
You can see the little roller coaster. Yeah, from there.
Literally.
But we went in there. It's a very cool arena.
Their standing room only place is really cool. It actually, they built it to look like a cliff kind of coming out of the arena, overlooking what is the court or the ice or the whatever.
Yeah, they very clearly
really
built,
cool.
I'm glad you brought that up, because they very clearly built that with standing room in mind. They're like, we're gonna have these seats, but then also we want people to be able to come and just like walk around. And I thought that was really neat.
Saw mega escalator. That might have been like the escalator in T-Mobile Arena might have been the largest escalator that only time I think I've seen a larger escalator was in some of the tube stations in London. But like US, we're talking big escalator.
Yeah. Good crowd.
Fantastic crowd. A lot of Blackhawk fans.
So they played the Chicago Blackhawks, and the Chicago Blackhawks have a very big following. It's an original six team. I would say it was probably like 60-40 Vegas fans. But like, I mean, there are a lot of Blackhawks fans. But it was a fun time. It was a good
I made
time.
a friend. The guy sitting next to me.
You did make a friend.
Cool. He was from Seattle, so you got to talk to him a little bit about the Mariners. I made a couple friends.
Yeah, you did. That was a good time. And the other thing we did was slept.
Correct.
We went to bed at a reasonable hour.
As one does.
And you know, like, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
They will sell you, like, what I was really impressed with is they have a lot of places to get a drink there in Vegas.
Yeah, water,
and I thought that
milk.
I thought the lemonade selection,
fantastic.
Really terrific.
Yeah.
The lemonade selection.
Yep.
Apple
juice.
You got that apple juice, and you let me have a sip of that apple juice. It was good apple juice.
It was very good.
Very good apple juice. Had a good time. Stayed hydrated. It's very good. But we're back. We're going to talk about football, I guess. Hit the Team Expo. From the brand new Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful, scenic, crime-free Lewisville, Texas. It is Texas Football Today, a show that is so back.
We've never been more back.
Extremely back. There's like a big flashing sign over here. It just says back, back,
yeah,
back.
The streets are saying that we're back.
Streets are shouting.
Shouting.
My name is Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you for spending a little bit of your day with us, whether you're watching us live at TexasFootball.com, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on a sweater, or you listen to us in the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support the little engine that could. I'm sitting over there at the helm today in the Pickle Palace, twisting and tweaking, making it sound good. She is the Duchess of the Dorks, Miss 305, Dale Ashley Pickle.
Dale to everybody. Happy Thursday, and Dale.
Did you hear the cake boss cut off his hand?
This was news to me. That was broken in Vegas, and looks like factually it was correct.
What a tragedy.
Wild. He was trying to fix a bowling lane. Why would you put your hand up in the pin drop like that? Like, there's mechanisms that you can avoid that.
Today is Thursday, April 18th, 2024. It is a number of days until Thanksgiving. That number is 224. Happy birthday to Conan O'Brien.
Oh, nice.
Conan's 60 today.
Wow, big 6-0.
Conan, like peak Conan, late night Conan, that was probably like before your time.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. Late Night with Conan O'Brien
was cooking.
He is largely to blame for the person that I am.
That's fair.
Of course, he also, where kind of one of the places he got to start.
Where?
He wrote for The Simpsons.
The fact that I didn't guess that is bad on my part.
It's episode 1759?
Yep.
Bang!
Solid.
Woo!
We are so back.
So back. On today's show, folks, we've got some headlines from across the state, including some transfer portal news and some Texas high school football coaching changes. And then, back half of the show, it's Tepper's Take. I've got 5 first-year Texas high school football coaches that I've got my eye on. I want you to have your eye on them as well. We will break down my picks for 5 Texas high school football first-year coaches to watch in 2024. We'll have all that coming for you in this very program. Both those segments are guaranteed. Unless the internet goes out, in which case
we will still blame Zuckerberg.
Zuck. Do we have first 4 through the door?
We sure do. It was TJ Hudson, jersey number 69,
Nice.
Daniel Agnew, and Ed McElroy. Welcome in, fellas.
Welcome in, friends. We do appreciate you spending a little bit of your day with us on this, the day that we are back.
So back.
So back. Extremely back. Let's get some headlines from across the state of Texas.
Yeah.
So let's start in the college ranks. So the spring transfer portal is now out. It's open. You can enter the transfer portal. This is one of the 2 times. My watch is yelling at me.
I wondered what that was.
Do you know what it said?
What?
We're back.
We are so back.
The spring transfer portal is open. And there have been a number of teams that have, a number of programs across the state of Texas that have been hit relatively hard by the transfer portal. Now remember, if you enter the transfer portal, you can always go back to that school. However, I would say that feels unlikely.
Yeah.
It happens sometimes,
Yeah.
but doesn't happen very, very often.
And I mean, sometimes it's literally just the fact that they want to see what other thing is out there, and then they go,
Yes.
no, I didn't get the offers I thought I was going to.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work for me. So I do want to talk a little bit about some of these big high-profile ones. This one came down today. Reported by Carter Yates on TexasFootball.com. Sam Houston is losing, arguably, I think there's a real argument to be made their best player.
Yeah.
DeMarcus Cosby II, who was an all-conference safety for them last year, is entering the transfer portal. This was a guy who was an all-conference player. Kilgore College, I should say.
Yes.
Kilgore College, before he transferred to Sam Houston, where he was really good. 4 interceptions, led the team in interceptions with 4 of them, and a big-time playmaker. He is likely to go to a power. We call it Power 4 now?
Yeah, I don't know.
Pac-12 doesn't really exist anymore.
Nothing. We got to stop
really
naming things after numbers. Let's make that a very well-known thing in college football. No more numbers.
You mean the Big 12?
With 14 teams, now 18 or
16.
That's 16.
Anyway.
No more numbers.
But
I'm out on
Conference
numbers.
USA figured it out early.
Yeah, exactly.
But DeMarcus Cosby II is entering the transfer portal. This is a huge blow, I think, for Sam Houston, and really, really hurts them moving forward. We had really high hopes for them, especially to be really strong defensively heading into 2024. Certainly, they're more than just DeMarcus Cosby, but this hurts big time, I would say. So Sam Houston is reeling now, as is arguably Houston. The Houston Cougars, of course, with new coach Willie Fritz taking over. I would say overall, they've held the team together pretty well. Like all things considering you're going through a coaching change, you're always going to have turnover with that. But I would say grading on that curve, Willie Fritz has done a decent job of holding the program together. That took a turn yesterday when Sam Brown announced that he is entering the transfer portal. Sam Brown, of course, is their leading receiver, led the team with 815 yards last year. He began his career at West Virginia, broke out with the Cougars in 2023, 62 catches, 815 yards. He was honorable mention All Big 12, finished 5th in the nation in receptions per game. So now they lose Sam Brown and Matthew Golden, both of which.
Not ideal.
That's tough.
The Matthew Golden one was a big.
Matthew Golden was a big one.
Big one.
Because he was kind of their shining star and like the next big thing for them.
He was always that like spark for them too. Like when they needed something to like, oh hey, we need to turn this around. Like boom, there was
their
a speed
big
from
play
Matthew
guy.
Golden. Yeah.
Yeah, but now their receiver core is looking pretty thin there at Houston, as they will lose Sam Brown, who's entered the transfer portal. And then also TCU. TCU took one on the chin yesterday when Dominic Williams, their big defensive tackle, has entered the transfer portal. This is a guy who has started 27 consecutive games for them. Was a freshman All-American on that national title team, national title playing team, college football playoff team.
There we go.
In 2022, he was freshman All-American, has been a real star for them. We at Dave Campbell's, when we did our Texas 10, where we were rating, like talking about like different position groups and just ranking the best players, we had him number 2 in interior defensive lineman. And now he is entering the transfer portal. He will be, Carter Yates writes on TexasFootball.com that he will be one of the hottest commodities in the transfer portal, and I tend to agree with Carter on this point. Not usually,
not normal.
But this time, I think that he's got something there. So the transfer portal is popping right now. We will keep you covered every step of the way at TexasFootball.com. Some sad news to report. This came down, I think on Monday? Sunday or Monday.
So.
And that is that Steve Sloan has passed away. There is a segment of our listening audience who probably don't know who Steve Sloan is, but there are another segment of the population where this is a very big deal. Steve Sloan, the former Texas Tech head coach, and actually the last coach to win a conference title at Texas Tech. Back in 1976, that was the last time that Texas Tech won an outright conference title in football when they won the Southwest Conference. Steve Sloan was at the helm there. They won 10 games in 1976. His defensive coordinator on that team, 1976 Texas Tech, do you know this? Bill Parcells.
No kidding. Yeah, I didn't realize that. Makes sense why they won a conference championship.
He went 23-12. He left Tech to become, in late 1977, he left to go be the head coach at Ole Miss. He was a national champion quarterback at Alabama in his playing days. It was Alabama, I believe, who first reported the news. Like they put it out there because he's well known there at Alabama. But Steve Sloan has passed away. Apparently, he had spent the past few months in memory care, so it had been a health issue that had been lingering for him. But Steve Sloan, the last Texas Tech head coach to win a conference championship, has passed away at the age of 79. And finally, Pickle, let's get some coaching changes from across the state of Texas in the high school football ranks, because even though it is April 18th, and we will talk about this coming up here in the second half of the show, and the coaching carousel is winding to a close,
that does not mean that it's over.
It ain't closed yet. There are still some big coaching changes around the state of Texas. One of them, Denver City is looking for a new head coach. Daniel Fontenot has retired, announced his retirement late in the game, where I would say this is a guy who he had a long coaching career in both the 6-man and 11-man ranks, but he spent the last 12 seasons at Denver City, including being their head coach, and went 53-37 in that time. Denver City, basically a perennial playoff team. My guess on this, as far as Denver City is concerned, with a retirement like this late in the game, my guess is that he signaled this to other people in charge.
Right. Yeah.
And I would expect a relatively speedy process here. I don't think they're going to let this thing linger. My guess, I don't think that he surprised DCISD by saying, hey, I'm retiring. I think they've probably got some ducks in a row that they've been working on.
Absolutely.
So that's one thing. Let's go to Merkel, home of the Badgers.
Badger.
Our friend Brooke has got family in Merkel.
Yeah.
And they have a new head coach.
Big Merkel energy.
And it's actually a pretty big deal. Merkel has been looking for a head coach when Will Cates left to become the offensive coordinator at Eagle Mountain. Follow me on this. Remember, Jeremy Mullins, head coach at Toller, left Toller to become the head coach at Eagle Mountain. He went and he called Will Cates, the head coach at Merkel, and said, hey, I'm starting this new program here at Eagle Mountain, the Saginaw area. I want you to be my offensive coordinator. He left Merkel, leaving Merkel open. Merkel has now hired Wes Wood to be their next head coach. Wes Wood is coming from Snyder. Snyder, he's done a fantastic job. Wood's a mule shoe guy. He spent the past 5 years at Snyder, where he led them to the playoffs 3 times, including, you go back to 2021, they went to the regional semifinals there with the Tigers. And so he will now move over to take over the Badgers of Merkel. So keep an eye on that. That's big doings there. Snyder is now open as well, so keep an eye on that. Those are really the biggest ones. The other one that I would say is that San Antonio, down in the San Antonio area, you go down there and San Antonio Brandeis, a perennial power in the San Antonio area, they are looking for a new head coach. This came down basically after our show last Thursday.
Yeah.
Last Thursday.
Pretty soon afterwards.
Brandeis is looking for a new head coach. Charles Bruce has been promoted into administration there at Northside ISD. David Hinojosa, our friend of the San Antonio Express News, first reported this, that San Antonio Brandeis is looking for a new head coach. Before he was at Brandeis, he was the head coach at Wagner. And you remember Wagner, 28 and 29, or in 2018 and 2019, they were cruising. They were the powerhouse in Region 4.
Yeah, they were
5A Division 1. And made it 2 straight state semifinals in 5A Division 1. They ran that kind of double slot offense there with Wagner. He went and took over at Brandeis. He is now moving into Northside ISD administration. So San Antonio Brandeis, a high-profile job in the San Antonio area, is looking for a new head coach. So those are some of the coaching changes. You can find all of them on TexasFootball.com and keep up to date on all the things in high school football and college football and recruiting and
everything
stuff.
We got a lot of.
Is Powers going to the barbecue competition again?
I would be shocked if he wasn't.
So we'll have some barbecue content for you.
Yeah.
TexasFootball.com. It's basically like everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Jelly of the month.
It's the everything app.
Yep.
TexasFootball.com. We're at Texas Football today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Hey, Pickle.
What's up?
You know today's Conan O'Brien's birthday?
I did know that.
And I know what you can get your loved one
for Conan O'Brien's
birthday.
Is it a subscription to Dave Campbell's Texas Football?
You ever feel like you're on the same page with your producer?
Go.
Become a subscriber for Dave Campbell's Texas Football at TexasFootball.com/subscribe. You get a year's worth of exclusive online content at TexasFootball.com. You get a year of stuff like our Insider podcast, Tep and Step, recording a new episode next week. You can get that. You also get the 2024 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football mailed to you before it hits newsstands. So if you want to get the magazine first, you get that. I would also tell you, I think this is the biggest thing, get Texan Live, a streaming platform. A year of streaming all sorts of goodness on TexanLive.com.
Yeah, we've got like awesome baseball and softball going on right now.
Thousands of Texas high school events, including hundreds and hundreds of Texas high school football games, including hundreds of Texas high school football playoff games.
That's the big one.
You get to stream that live
to any device
as part of your Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscription. If you go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe, makes a great gift. Get it for your loved one for Conan O'Brien's birthday.
Correct.
TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Coming up here in just a moment, my 5 first-year Texas high school football coaches I am keeping a close eye on heading into 2024. But first, a word from these valued partners.
I feel like bustin' loose, come on. Get on up. Oh yeah, get on up. Bustin' loose when you wanna sing. Bustin' loose, baby, do your thing. Talking about bustin' loose, yeah.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Potter, Executive Director of Be Well Texas. Too many people are struggling alone these days, and alcohol and drug deaths are increasing. We started Be Well Texas to offer high-quality, science-based addiction treatment and recovery services anywhere, even at home. We provide compassionate, caring support virtually or in person. In many cases, there is no cost for treatment if you don't have insurance. Really. Welcome to Be Well Texas. We're glad you're here.
Wing is the largest residential drone delivery provider in the world, delivering to your home in less than 30 minutes. Order using an app just like other popular delivery services, and Wing's automated drone takes care of the rest. It's fast, safe, and sustainable, and it's now delivering to parts of Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. You can learn more at wing.com/TexasFootball. Again, that's wing.com/TexasFootball.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texas loves doing business with fellow Texans. VCR Now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR Now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful, long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW.
Hello, back here on Texas Football Today. I'm Greg, that's Ashley. And we are now careening towards, just headlong, towards the 2024 Texas high school football season. It is mere hours away. It's a lot of hours, but it is hours away. Seconds.
Two things can be true at the same time.
Away for the 2024 Texas high school football season. And one of the things that we track on TexasFootball.com is coaching changes from across the state of Texas. If you go to TexasFootball.com/coaching-changes. If you go to TexasFootball.com and click on coaching changes at the top of the page, you can find every Texas high school football coaching change in the UIL 11-man ranks. And there have been 159 of them so far, Pickle. 159.
Brought to you by our helpful North Texas Honda dealers.
That's why they pay her the big bucks. And so we're tracking all the coaching changes across the state of Texas. And so there's going to be a number of programs across the state with a new look, right? And I want to take a look. I went through them and I picked out 5 that I'm really interested in heading into 2024. Now, I want to be very clear about this.
Okay.
These are not the only ones that I'm interested in.
Correct.
I'm interested in all of them. I'm an equal opportunity guy. I'm also intentionally leaving off a number of the high-profile ones, okay?
Okay.
You will not see Todd Dodge at Lovejoy on this list. I am obviously going to be watching what Todd Dodge does at Lovejoy.
And I feel like this is a very, because you brought that point up, it's very worth it to say that when you're saying first-year Texas high school football coaches, you're not talking about this is the first time they've been a head coach.
Correct.
You're talking about the fact that this is the first time they've been
at their new school.
And
to be clear, there are some coaches on here that it is the first time they've been head coach.
Right.
But these are 5, call it first year, 5 folks who are going to be a head coach at this school for the first time in 2024 that I will be particularly interested in, that I am watching very closely in 2024. Let's go to the big board, Pickle, and take a look at them. We'll start at the top. And one that maybe has flown under the radar, Drew Colvin, the next head coach at Royce City. He is going to be the next head coach there at Royce City, taking over the Bulldogs program that, I think is in need of a little bit of jolt. They went 3-7 last year. David Petroff got promoted to assistant athletic director after 11 seasons. They've needed this is a new, fresh face, a younger guy taking over this program. The reason I'm interested in Drew Colvin taking over, he's coming from Rockwall, where he was their offensive coordinator. Pickle, why don't you tell me about Rockwall's offense the past couple of years?
They like to score points.
Let me tell you something, Pickle.
Pointsy.
He's been their head coach, or their offensive coordinator the last 3 seasons. 2021, 48.8 points per game. 2022, 40.2 points per game. 2023, 51.7 points per game.
And that's wild, because you got to remember, too, the previous offensive coordinator at Rockwall was Trey Burks, who ended up taking over the program. That is a offensive factory. They're not doing that with Braden Locke.
No.
They're doing it with, good players, but not, budding superstars per se.
They've churned through the roster a
Yes.
little bit, and they have been consistently one of the best offenses in Texas. So I'm very interested to see what Drew Colvin does at Roy City. This came down last week, and we figured this is a good opportunity to talk about it. Corpus Christi Calallen has hired Charlie Reeve to be their next head coach. Charlie Reeve is coming from Victoria East, where he has done very well there at Victoria East, taking over this program there at Calallen. I am watching this for a number of reasons. One, I think Charlie Reeve's a really good coach.
Yep.
Good bloodlines, very good bloodlines there, that Reeve family. Very good coach. Two,
The pressure's on.
this is the first outside hire that they have made at Calallen in like
43
years? 40 more than 40 years.
Yes.
So for Charlie Reeve, we hate the word pressure, but we would be remiss if we didn't talk about this is a
expectations.
program that expects to win. Last year when Steve Campbell went to the playoffs and they lost in the first round to a good Beeville Jones team, a really good Beeville Jones team, that was considered unacceptable. They won 7-4 and went to the playoffs, and it was considered unacceptable. This is a program with high expectations, and Charlie Reeve knows that, stepping into the screen. I'm keeping a very close eye on that. He is a very, very good football coach. I'm interested to see what kind of tweaks he makes to this program. I've mentioned this before. Jeremy Jenkins at East Bernard. Jeremy Jenkins leaving Harmony to go to East Bernard. You may remember in 2022 when he took Harmony to that stunning state semifinal appearance.
Yep.
Jeremy Jenkins is the ball coach in Jack. I am very interested to see what happens at East Bernard because that is a program that has traditionally run the slot T. They've traditionally done that. Jeremy Jenkins has traditionally not done that. What wins out as far as culture is concerned? Jeremy Jenkins there at East Bernard is a guy that I'm keeping a very close eye on. I have made this point before. The next one, James Reyes leaving Lumberton to go to Palestine. I am fascinated by because I think James Reyes is a really, really good football coach. What he did at Lumberton, taking a program that was not good and turning them into a program that was good. Is that a soft way of saying that? I think James Reyes is the ball coach in Jack. Going to Palestine, which of course has great tradition and has just needed that spark. And I wonder if James Reyes can be that spark. I think he's done phenomenal work at Lumberton. I think it's a really, really savvy hire. And then this one, I think, flying under the radar. You know, it's funny. If you go back, we did a segment last year about programs that we thought were under pressure. And one of them was Nederland, specifically because of what was going on. It had nothing to do with Monty Barrow,
nothing to do with
the program.
Nederland.
But because P&G, arch rival Port Neches Groves, had played for a state championship and now has won a state championship, we thought, okay, they're going to
Those are some football crazy people down
there.
there.
They are football crazy people. They needed a big year. They went 4-7 last year. Monty Barrow resigned after 7 seasons at Nederland. Went 43-34. Good coach. He resigned. They went and they hired Scott Rich. Scott Rich is coming from Katy, where he was Gary Joseph's quarterbacks coach.
Seems good.
This is fascinating to me. First of all, I want you to think about the P&G versus Nederland game, where you now have a Gary Joseph disciple in Scott Rich
Facing off
against Gary Joseph's kid.
his literal offspring.
His literal kid in Jeff Joseph. That's fascinating. Also, and I think Jeff Joseph would tell you this, the coaching tree there under Gary Joseph, these guys, the program is so sound and the lessons that you learn under Gary Joseph, you take to your program and can get immediate results. I think Scott Rich at Nederland has an opportunity to do some big things early because of the history we have of Katy assistants going other places. I think this was a really savvy hire here from Nederland, and I'm interested to see what Scott Rich does. So those are 5 Texas high school football first-year coaches that I am keeping a close eye on. Which one are you keeping a close eye on? And let us know in the comments of this video. Let's go over to Ashley Pickle for America's second favorite segment. Final thoughts.
Coming up at 2 o'clock today, the women are back. Women Talking Football, Mallory and I will, we're going to be throwing out some Texas high school football fun facts.
Ooh.
Big fun fact show.
I do love fun facts.
So if you like fun facts, come check it out. But 2 o'clock, wherever you're watching this show.
Can I tell you,
No.
I saw my dad, your buddy Mark.
Yes.
I saw my dad last Saturday at a Bananas game.
Solid, as one does.
He's a season ticket holder.
Yeah, makes sense. Good guy.
And I asked him, I was like, hey, Pops, did you get a chance to see the new studio? Mm-hmm. And he said, do you know what? This is a bad Mark Tepper impression. Do you know what? I did. You know what? I watched that Ashley and Mallory show. He could not remember the name.
Perfectly fine.
Couldn't remember. He's like, the Ashley and Mallory show.
Which is also basically
He was
the name
like,
of it.
love the studio. That show's great.
So if Mark Tepper can like this show, then anybody should
If
be
my
able
dad,
to.
if WTF gets the Mark Tepper seal of approval,
Like
that's
that's
good,
honestly
good as
the
gold.
only approval that we really needed.
Good as gold. Yeah, you don't care when I tell you good show. You're like, whatever, dude.
Yeah, that's not the Tepper opinion that I'm looking for.
Absolutely right. I haven't confirmed this,
Oh my.
and there's a chance that this person forgot,
Okay.
but we may have a special in-studio guest tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Well,
I need to confirm.
Yeah.
But that's what we call a lateral tease. Mm-hmm.
potentially come by for a cool guest tomorrow, maybe.
That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com for Ashley Pickle. I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please meet your Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you tomorrow for Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday on Texas Football Today.
And maybe a cool guest.
Maybe.